All right. And Mexico will pay for it? What happened to that promise?
I wonder myself what happened, but I will say in his defense, look, in Trump's defense, he never said they would prepay for it. He explained very clearly how it would be done. He said it would be done. Well, he didn't.
Well, now we're...
he laid this out very clearly. He said we would tax remittances. Mexicans in this country, both legal and illegal, send back $25 billion every year.
Okay.
Every year. That's enough for the full wall. You put a 10% tax on that, as he recommended, and he put it in his immigration policy paper. In 10 years, you've paid for a $25 billion wall.
Okay, but today he was talking about how we never said it was a wall from coast to coast. That's exactly what he said. I agree.
Ann Coulter went on real time with Bill Maher and absolutely demolished Bill Maher with facts. She didn't even let him speak for like a good 2 minutes of this because she was just going so hard on him with facts. Let's get into this clip here from Real Time with Bill Maher of Ann Coulter destroying Bill Maher and the woke cult.
I think this build the wall line has become, I mean, it sounds like Crooked Hillary or lock her up. It isn't that. You're being played. This is, as Bernie Sanders said, a Koch brothers idea. This is lots of cheap labor pouring into this country is good for employers. It's not good for employees. You know who wants it? The Koch brothers. They want it. Rupert Murdoch wants it. My party wants it. Why hasn't Trump been able to get it through the first 2 years?
The point is that the wall won't stop that.
Because the Republicans don't want it. It's all of mass immigration. It's our legal...
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Immigration. It's no E-Verify. The wall is a big part of that.
But the reason...
And you're being played to have everybody keep acting like this is some sort of racist thing. Working class wages have gone down. Middle class wages have been stagnant. It's great for the rich. It's good for you.
But
bad for people who work.
But the point was the wall won't stop that.
Of course it will.
Of course it won't. Most people who come here from Mexico don't come
for
through
jobs.
The border. They come for jobs. They come on a plane. All right. And Mexico will pay for it? What happened to that promise?
I wonder myself what happened, but I will say in his defense, look, in Trump's defense, he never said they would prepay for it. He explained very clearly how it would be done. He said it would be done. Well, he didn't.
Well, now we're...
he laid this out very clearly. He said we would tax remittances. Mexicans in this country, both legal and illegal, send back $25 billion every year. Every year. That's enough for the full wall. You put a 10% tax on that, as he recommended, and he put it in his immigration policy paper. In 10 years, you've paid for a $25 billion wall.
But today he was talking about how we never said it was a wall from coast to coast. That's exactly what he said. I agree. You know, first it was a wall, then it was a fence, then it was just, I guess, cones, you know. And then
by now it's a gentle little garden trellis.
I think maybe thoughts and prayers is what we're up to. Just see if we can get thoughts and prayers to it.
Yeah, and look where we are now in terms of immigration. You know, if we would have actually allowed Donald Trump to do what he originally said, I'm not saying that there would be no immigration problem, because I'm sure Kamala Harris and Joe Biden would have found a way to make immigration a problem, because it seems like that's their goal. It doesn't seem like they're trying to, you know, stop immigration. It seems like they're trying to speed it up and make it as prominent, the illegal part of the immigration, as possible. So I'm sure they would have found a way, but it would have been a whole lot more, it would have been a whole lot more tame than it is now. Like, there's no question about it. I understand that the wall can't stop all types of illegal immigration. Like Bill Maher just said, a lot of them come over on planes and then just stick around. So, yeah, I understand that. But at the same time, it would have helped, at least a little.
Work for that. But let me just ask about his state of mind. He said the other day, he said, I see a lot of the Democrats, almost all of them. This just speaks to his mind. And this is what I want to ask you, why you like this guy. Like, he's starting with a giant lie that the Democrats, the end of the quote is, are breaking. I see a lot of the Democrats, almost all of them, are breaking, saying, look, walls are good, walls are good. No Democrats are saying that. That's exactly the opposite of their position. Their leader said it's an immorality. So he starts with a lie. I see a lot of the Dems. He's in the middle of his own sentence when he then goes, almost all of them. You see, he builds on his own lie from 2 seconds before. He is not fucking sane.
You know,
he is not a sane person. Really. He convinces himself of his own reality.
This is coming from the person who elected, or one of the crazy people, Bill Maher, who not only voted for Joe Biden, but clamored for everybody else in his audience and his viewers to vote for Joe Biden. Like, I don't like people don't understand that Bill Maher's vote is not equal to everybody else's vote. That's not how things work nowadays. The View have an audience. The View have influence over who the president of America is. That's a huge problem. Bill Maher has influence over who the president of the America is more than the average person does. His vote is not equal to everybody else because he can go on Real Time with Bill Maher with Ann Coulter and just, you know, say a bunch of lies, honestly, about Trump and about Joe Biden and about Kamala Harris and push for someone to get elected. The average 9-to-5 worker can't do that. They can just vote for, you know, their vote and that's it. So Bill Maher had a huge part to play in Joe Biden getting elected, and he has the nerve to say something like Donald Trump is not sane. Well, obviously that doesn't matter much to you, you know, in regards to who gets elected president. Obviously you don't care how sane someone is or not, because Joe Biden's brain doesn't even operate.
That is so dangerous.
You'd sit down, tell me that, oh, he's so coarse, he's so vulgar, he makes things up.
No.
Yeah, I went into this fully clear-eyed. Again, we liked that about him because respectable people who listen to NPR...
You like someone who doesn't live in reality?
Because I thought, we thought that...
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
He wouldn't care what the elites thought, and he'd actually keep his promises on this. And by the way, in fact, Nancy Pelosi did say we need a barrier at the border. Chuck,
I know more about technology than anybody. Now, this is an insane person. I mean, how can we move forward with an insane person?
No, I find that I find his puffery really charming. I mean, that's hardly the stupidest thing.
And if Obama did that, it would be okay?
He said he had the best words. He said he's the most Christian person.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
We know he's more presidential than Lincoln. I could go on and on and on. It makes me laugh. That's fine. I like that about him. Just keep your promise, and I'm right back in his camp.
Okay. So let me ask you about the other big story today. Roger Stone was arrested. I would agree with you. It was an over-the-top. By
the way, Donald Trump says a lot of things like that, right? He definitely does say a lot of things that are like, you know, hyperbolic, like saying that... I forgot exactly what he said at the debate, but he said something like, I took a dementia test and I aced it, or something like that. It's hilarious. Like most other people who say stuff like that, it's not as funny. But when Donald Trump says it, like Ann Coulter just said, and obviously Bill Maher disagrees, but it's charming when Donald Trump says stuff like that. When Joe Biden says it, it's like, this guy is senile. Like, it's sad. But when Donald Trump says it, he's very obviously not senile. Like, he might not be as sharp as he used to be, but he's not senile. You know, he doesn't have dementia, but you know, it's funny. It's charming. It's like, it's coming from a place where, like, you know that Donald Trump, I mean, maybe he does believe it, but I don't think that Donald Trump actually believes, like, he is the most Christian person on earth. You know, I don't think he believes that, but he just says it because it's like it's a way of polarizing people. And he's noticed that whenever he says stuff like that, he gets a positive response. People enjoy it, you know, or you hate it. But one way or the other, like the most powerful people ever have always been hated by one side, and 50%, the other 50% absolutely loves them. That's how you get powerful. If everybody feels indifferent about you, then you're not going to get very powerful. But it's just crazy to me how people like Bill Maher can criticize Donald Trump for saying things that are hyperbolic, and saying things like, I'm the most Christian person ever, you know, I'm more presidential than Abraham Lincoln, or whatever Ann Coulter said, and say that, oh, you're insane. We elected an insane person for president. And then they go and vote for Joe Biden, and they're going to vote for Kamala Harris. It's just mind-blowing. And it just shows you that these people, Bill Maher and all of Bill Maher's audience, because you can hear the way that they're reacting to Ann Coulter, all of Bill Maher's audience and Bill Maher, these people have no sense of like morals or ethics. They have no interest in making the country a better place. They only care about their side winning. And I think that's the difference between people like me. I'm not saying all right-wingers are all Republicans, because a lot of Republicans are the same way too. They don't care about making the country a better place. They only care about their side winning, and that's it. So people like me and a lot of other people, though, we're starting to see certain patterns even with Republicans, and like we're just trying to make the country a better place. You know, I think there's certain issues that need to be solved. I don't care who solves them. It just so happens that this election, the Republican candidate wants to solve the actual issues in the country, and the Democratic candidate won't even acknowledge that a singular issue even exists. So obviously I'm going to vote for the Republican candidate. Obviously I'm going to push people towards voting for that candidate and prove how ridiculous people like Bill Maher and Whoopi Goldberg and all these people are, and how at least on the most important issues, people like Ann Coulter are correct. Let me know in the comments what you think about Ann Coulter going on real time with Bill Maher and destroying Bill Maher in front of his own audience. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole Bill Maher versus Ann Coulter situation.